Good morning, Shail.
Hi, Dipu. Hi, how are you? Good to see you.
I'm fine, thank you. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thanks a ton. So, how's been the day?
It's been good, and I was eagerly looking forward to this chat, Shaili.
Thank you. Same here. Same here. It's been fantastic.
Yeah. So we already have a lot of viewers joining us. So let me take the pleasure of introducing you. So friends, welcome once again to our series of Instagram live sessions with distinguished guests. And I guess it doesn't get better than having Shelly with us. He's a very down to earth person. Shelly or Shailender Kumar, to call him by his full name, is the managing director of Oracle India. His career journey has taken him to several tech companies in India, and he's always thrived, in his own words, on tough competition, the thrill of the chase, and adversity. It resonates so much with us in Bajaj Shelly. The entire philosophy that you have. And I understand you cut your teeth in Microsoft, right, where you're recognized as one of the best salespersons globally. And then I understand that the reason you come to work is people, right, which again resonates with us because we do believe that people are the fulcrum of any good business model. And having moved around the tech industry and seen a few things, I guess you're now right now focused on making Oracle a fantastic place to work. We at Bajaj have always believed in that. In fact, we have won the best companies to work for award quite a few times. And so very happy to have you on the show with us, Shelly, and wish you a very warm welcome once again.
And thanks, Dipu. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks for having me here. I'm really looking forward to the conversation. And when I see the kind of work which Bajaj is doing and what Oracle is doing, I find a lot of synergies. So I think there are a lot of common things, and based on the discussion today, whatever we are doing, we can share with the participants here and also get some feedback from their side so that all of us can improve and keep working towards our customers.
Absolutely, Shelly. So in typical storm, let me, try and challenge you with some interesting questions, right? Because I guess that brings out the best in you, right? Okay. So lately, we've seen many organizations, get into this entire customer, experience arena, right? What is customer service and what is customer experience, right? That classic debate goes on. And because CX drives, nearly 2/3 of customer loyalty, outperforming brand and price combined, right? According to a study, if you can just share, from your own empirical experience, right? What does customer experience encompass?
So let me start with what is experience. And this
Right.
is a very, very important one today. Experience is an event or occurrence that leaves impression on someone.
Right.
And when we talk about customer experience is made up of micro moments where customers touch or interact with your brand, both directly and indirectly. So at any point of time, you will see there are many different intents or outcomes that customers want to achieve. And you need to help them with that. And that could be across various channels. That could be across phone, email, digital, social, mobile, at any point, at any time. And of course, it's going to be 24/7. This is the experience from a customer standpoint that defines value. Today, I would say customer is the innovator. We may keep saying that our company is a big innovator, we do innovation, but I would say the customer is the biggest innovator today. And the customer journeys are non-linear and they are unpredictable. And in fact, we have seen successful brands drive customer transformation with a focus on customer experience. And this is absolutely no longer a siloed approach. In fact, we used to see in many organizations that this is sales, this is service, this is marketing. All those silos are gone. Everyone talks about one thing called customer experience.
Absolutely on the money, Shelly. And I couldn't agree with you. And I think one thing which we did at Bajaj, especially during the pandemic, we went beyond customer service to customer experience. And I'll give you a couple of examples. The way I see it, customer service is basically maybe meeting customer stated needs, and experience is also about meeting latent or unarticulated needs. So what we did when the pandemic happened, I think a lot of players focused on copy paste. What works in the physical world, bring it into the digital world. We went a step ahead. We found our customers were really worried about COVID-19, but it can also be asymptomatic. So we came out with the COVID-19 self-assessment kit in multiple languages, and our customers, loved it because they could get themselves tested, without having to worry about, the environment around them. Secondly, when people, could not basically, go to hospitals, right? We came out with a doctor on chat or a doctor on, video feature. So get digital consultation and then, go and buy, medicines from medical shops. So these were needs, of the new normal, which we met, right? And I think that took our customer experience up a few notches. An independent study by research agencies confirms this. We enjoy the highest, net promoter scores in the marketplace. And during this pandemic, Shirley, our customer complaints came down by 90%. So
Wow,
I guess,
wow.
customer proof, I think, really helped us. So I completely, resonate, with your thoughts. So
Excellent,
it was
excellent job, Dipu.
thanks, Shelly. So, this was like, in cricket, right? The opening batsman. So I asked you a tough question and in full style, you hit a sixer, right? So now let me go to the next question, right?
Sure.
Now, despite the fact that, leaders understand the importance of, good customer experience, right? The study showed that nearly 70% of customer experience leaders said they struggle to design projects, right? Projects which can increase loyalty and achieve results, right? So from your own experience, Shirley, because Oracle is all about, customer experience, right? What are some things which could be going wrong?
So, Dipu, if we see, customer signals are everywhere. If you cannot, as a marketer, if we cannot effectively interpret those signals and we don't know what are the actions to be taken, then we stand to lose out. It's very important to build and manage lasting customer relationship by taking action in every moment that matters. And this is essential for customer acquisition or customer retention. So instead of identifying where marketing professionals could be going wrong, let me share what I feel they should be doing. And I'm hoping this will help them to go back to the drawing board to decipher where they can improve from customer experience standpoint. So here are some of the things, and we have used very successfully. And when I say successfully, we have seen the results coming from them. The first one is unifying our customer data. And we are basically a data company and we believe in data a lot. So first one is unifying our customer data. That is connecting their behavior, transactions, demographic across marketing, sales, service, back office, etc., etc. And there are plenty of options of tools and software that can help us. Second thing is delivering a relevant experience in real time, collecting data from more places, applying intelligently, and using those insights to deliver more personalized moments. And third one, which is equally important, is easily executing sophisticated marketing. This is easier said than done, but what it means is it empowers marketers to use their intuition and creativity to orchestrate campaigns. How customers experience our brand or your brand has a direct effect on any company's bottom line. That goes without saying, and that's the reason we have picked up this very, very important topic. It's known that it's a lot more costly to acquire a new customer than to retain one. And there have been many, many, many studies on that. But we have to remember that today, digitalization is exponentially improving the way companies can deliver onto their customer experience value proposition. Brands have a limited time to offer customers the best possible experience before those customers decide to move on. And this could be very, very costly for the company. Again, based on our experience, what we have seen in the market, there are 6 steps which we have been suggesting to our customers. One is synergizing business and marketing goals, which goes without saying. Second is organizing your data. Then make your marketing agile. And then one of the things which we have seen is, and very, very important point is fail fast, fail often. This is what our startups are doing today. And that's how they deliver the result. Not sticking on to something which you know it's not working, but still doing all the tweaking in the world to ensure we keep pushing it. The next point, again, is very important, is don't Frankenstack, which means is don't have too many different DIY hardware or software or tools to run your CX operations. Make it very, very simple. What the step I was talking about a few minutes back. And then create a MarTech culture. And MarTech you can easily make out coming from two different words. But what it means is you have to be intuitive, innovative, collaborative, risk-taking. That means a kind of cultural shift.
Absolutely, Shelly, and I completely agree with whatever you said. As I said, it resonates with us as well from a philosophical perspective. Just a couple of examples from my side, where I think people could have gone wrong and what could have done, been done better. Let's take claims in insurance, right? It's the moment of truth. Now, insurance is the original form of crowdsourcing. Collect premium from many and pay to a few. Now, what happens is insurance companies would love to pay fast, but it's because of the the threat of frauds, that there is a checking which needs to be done. And which is why, sometimes, there could be a break in customer experience. So, for example, one thing we did was, let's take travel insurance. Now, on travel insurance, let's take an international travel insurance, where you are basically, sitting in an airport, there's a long distance flight, and the flight is delayed. Now, what we did, we said that is not the time, because you're thinking about, basically rebooking your flight, and you're thinking about, your alternate arrangement of the destination. That is not the time, we can come and tell you saying that, you're eligible for a trip delay claim, and, you could basically give us paperwork, and some proof. So we deployed a blockchain driven solution, whereby what we did was immutable proof that the flight is delayed. And most importantly, the customer didn't even have to notify us, that the claim was, that he was eligible for a claim. We proactively got in touch with the customer, and, we were in a position to, pay the claim. And that led to an amazing experience. So I think the key is to clearly figure out the need and then fulfill it proactively. I think if you do that, you're a significant step ahead.
Absolutely, absolutely. People couldn't agree more. So on the dot.
Right. And any specific thoughts you would like to share, from a pandemic perspective, from a customer experience, landscape? Because I'm just, seeing the reactions of the audience. I think, people are, I could figure out, that one pattern coming through is, maybe how people are reacting to the pandemic. So maybe we'll pick that up, and then, get into a regular flow.
So, Dipu, what I have seen is different times ask for different kind of solutions. But what is very important is be in touch with your customer, be in touch with your users, and exactly the same thing what you just talked about, that how you have been reaching out to your customers, and that's exactly we have been also doing. If I see most of the mission critical industries, we have been working and we have been supporting them, whether it's banking, insurance, telecom, public sector. And they have their own challenges just to ensure that they are able to provide services to their customers, citizens, etc. So what we have seen is the best thing is to reach out to them, have discussion with them, understand what exactly they are looking at, and devise solutions for them. So we have ensured that there are many, many new things we have done. And as I said, customers today are the innovators. They have given us a challenge to innovate, that this is the problem I have, how do I serve my customers? And we have worked with them. So pandemic has really helped us. We keep saying that it is a new normal, but that new normal is forcing us to come up with new solutions on daily basis, which makes it conducive to us, conducive to our customers, and in turn their customers.
Absolutely, Shelly. And I know I'll just share a couple of examples on how we've done it. For example, if you look at our chatbot, right? Because we have an AI-driven chatbot which we used to cater to our customers, because call centers shut down virtually overnight. Now the difference is, because virtually every industry uses chatbots, we ensure that in case there is a query which the bot cannot answer, that the customer does not feel a break in service. At the back end, there's a seamless shift, to assisted automation. So for the customer, it's a seamless experience. And, deploying NLP and AI, the bot continuously learns. So that's, one area, by which, we were able to take it up. The second is, today, touchless is a big area of focus for everyone. Because of COVID, everybody is wary of touch. You see somebody in the elevator, right? He's trying to press the button, with his elbow or with an object, right? Sharp object. He doesn't want to use his fingers. So we were amongst the first ones, to integrate with voice, when Alexa and Google Assistant launched in India. So I think, some of those initiatives that we have taken, I think will really, go a significant way, in terms of, ensuring that our customer experience is top notch during this time, to absolutely be on the money in terms of figuring out the customer need, exactly, and catering to that. Thank you, Shelly. I'll go to the next question. Now, the kind of customer experience that has the best impact, is typically, personalized or at least customized, right? Because today everybody is looking at that, virtually looking at a one-to-one customization. But for big companies like ours and yours, right, volumes can be huge, and therefore, how do you scale personalization, right? So mass personalization, right? It's an oxymoron because you're saying mass and you're saying, personalization, right?
Personalization, yeah.
So would you have, any example, where, tech has, made it possible?
So, Dipu, if we see customers today understand what is meant by a good experience, and they say it's good when they see one, and at the same time, they expect it's going to happen in every interaction. But at the same time, whenever they don't see or see something negative, they also punish those kind of businesses that don't live up to them. Therefore, we can't ignore the dire requirement of hyper personalization. What you said is absolutely right. It's an oxymoron that on one side you talk about personalization and then the number of customers you talk about. But we can't ignore the need for it. And what we need to do is information should be thorough and consolidated, which in turn should give information into insight. And that should be able to help to grow our business through very, very smart marketing. Let me give you a few examples. And the example which I have been repeatedly quoting at many, many forums is on Yamaha Motors. And we know there must be a lot of people today, motorbike enthusiasts who may have joined us. So Yamaha Motor built up the first digital dirt bike. One of the Yamaha's goals was to improve the experience for its customers. And their customers, if we see, is we have enthusiasts on one side and seasons racers on the other side and everyone in between. And the marketing expectations of all these users have changed. Initially, there was a time when they used to talk about very technical things, things like torque or other technical specification. But today, the dirt fans want manufacturers like Yamaha, to push the envelope in new ways. So what did Yamaha do? And this is a very good example of being oxymoron and the kind of experience we just talked about. They upgraded the centerpiece of Yamaha's digital experience. It's Power Through app. They created something called a Power Through app. The Power Tuner app. Power Tuner app allowed riders to control their fueling and ignition timing directly from their smartphones. And both the complex processes considered traditionally as domain areas of mechanics and gearheads, the app allowed even casual riders to turn their bike. And this is such a nice experience. The app basically allowed customers to gain more insight in how the motorcycle works and better understand how tuning affects its performance. It not only appeals to people who love technology behind their bikes, they also gave a very good experience of owning a Yamaha. And people started feeling it much, much more personalized. And so if you see, is it an oxymoron? Yes. But at the same time, Yamaha made it possible by giving this tuner application, which made it possible for all their customers. Let me give another example of Myntra, and this is closer home only. A leading e-commerce company for fashion, and all of us may have gone at some point of time or the other for either for fashion or casual lifestyle products. They use customer experience based technology to orchestrate workflows between customer service agents and its nearly 20 million monthly customers. This enables Myntra to have a systematic and streamlined approach to deliver end-to-end customer experience. And then, lockdown happened. This is what they were doing, but lockdown happened. But Myntra could use existing data in different views. And one of the same examples what we just talked about. Myntra could use existing data in different ways to help it deliver personalized content to its customers based on their browsing history as well as their shopping preferences. And again, taking customer experience to a greater heights. So when I see these two examples where they have done kind of personalization for mass market, but again, being innovators, being able to understand the customer psyche, being able to understand what their customers are demanding in these tough times, they made it possible.
Brilliant examples, Shaili. I could also see a lot of customer, audience feedback, in terms of the examples, that you shared, brilliant examples. Just, 2, 3 points, to add to what you said. One is, we all grew up, learning about economies of scale. Increased production and unit cost comes down. Today, it's shifted to economies of scope, which means even as you basically scale up, you get into, one-to-one, marketing, so to speak. The second, and I'll give you an example from the tech world, of course, not from software world. Somebody told me this. You see, millions of, smartphones are produced today, right? But every phone is unique. You just look at it, every phone is unique. So that's an example of, how you can, be produced at mass, but make everything, unique. The third is the point that you made, in terms of, Yamaha and the app and Myntra and, the entire digital landscape. I think as customer service, gets into this digitization of the entire landscape, right? When customers start to leave digital footprints, right? The ability to collate all of it, from multiple channels and put it together, that will help. The second is, of course, the fact that today everybody is trying to look at a single customer view. Earlier, you typically had, siloed data marts. And today what is happening is, people are putting it together in the form of a data lake, whether it's internal data, external data, structured data, unstructured data, primary data, secondary data. So I think crunching it all together, and then the ability to scale up, even as you personalize, I think, is what will make the difference for customers. So thanks for sharing that, Shaili, and, I think the audience could resonate with that. My next question is, you moved from a product-based company to a solution-based company, right? So from this perspective, how do you see the impact on customer experience?
And Dipu, that's a great question. And thank you for asking it. And why do I say that's a great question? Because it's important for us to showcase how we are adopting the technology we are offering or developing for our customers internally within our organization, how they have been using it. Oracle is doing business across 175 countries. We have approximately 150,000 employees, or 1.5 lakh employees, and serving approximately 4.5 customers around the world. For many, many years, Oracle embarked on a journey to reinvent how we market, how we sell and service our customers. And as we transition to become a cloud service provider, we had to become the cloud company we urge our customers to be. We are going through our own customer experience journey, enabling us to drive customer satisfaction, in addition to greater visibility, better leads, increased revenue and efficiency. We transformed our operations by moving multiple custom tools to align our marketing, sales, and solution engineering functions to our Oracle CX platform and basically consolidate each and everything. Let me give you some of the parameters and how these things have improved, and very much in line with some of the numbers Dipu, you were talking about. We have seen, after we started implementing our customer experience platform, we have seen 100% improved conversion. We have seen 70% orders were on standard terms. There were 85% reduction in research. 70% of our sales reps, the front-end people, could complete quoting and contracting without assistance. 95% of our customer interactions were auto-logged, and we achieved 2x increase in lead conversion using machine learning and automated lead routing. And there are plenty of tools we used to have, otherwise we used to use to make this work. Now everything has got consolidated to one customer experience platform. Our sales organization today is able to drive real-time and data-driven deal reviews, ensuring forecast accuracy and identifying coaching opportunities all through one platform. What we see is today's customers are adopting digital technology to create their own customer experience faster than brands can keep up. And that's why consumers, and not brands, are the real innovators. And this is what Oracle calls the experience economy. That is, you must define yours.
Fantastic points, Shaili. I'll pick a cue from the experience economy, and then add a couple of points. One is we believe, that even as we automate processes and we deploy technology at scale, the core human skills of, empathy and care do not go away. They're very important. And I'll tell you one example. We believe it's going to be a physical world, as in it's going to be a physical and a digital world. So, for example, at hospitals where, we have a high footfall of our customers, we have deployed, relationship manager at hospital. Now, what these people do, they tell customers to basically focus on treatment, and they take care of, navigating the administrative machinery at hospitals. So the person, and it's a completely digitized process. The person uses, his digital tools, take care of the paperwork in a paperless manner while customers focus on treatment. And we have had such fantastic, feedback from customers on this, that this is actually, classic case of coherent empathy, followed by digitization. And I'll give you one more example here, which will cut across all the queries I asked you so far. The key here is also attention to detail. And I'll give you a simple example. This is a very famous example in Six Sigma. So in the US, once somebody was driving a car, and then he basically went to an ice cream shop. And he came back with a strawberry flavor. The car didn't start. He was wondering what happened. He went again, next time, because he likes ice cream, he goes there very often. Next time he bought chocolate ice cream, then he tried butterscotch, the car started. But every time, he bought strawberry ice cream, the car wouldn't start. So somebody thought, what is happening? Then sometimes if a superstitious, you start to think, is there something wrong with the strawberry ice cream? The car doesn't like it, so on and so forth. They did a study and found out that the distance he took to travel from the car to the strawberry, counter and back, by that time, the car's vapor lock got activated.
Wow.
So that was the reason why the car wouldn't start. Yeah. So which is why, attention to detail and phygital, I think will take it a long way, right? Thank you, Shaili. My next question is, yeah.
Very nice example.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Shaili. And just going by the audience feedback, my next question is, a lot of people typically think that, CX is restricted to external customers, right? But trends show that, really good businesses, they're looking at this year, 2020, thanks to the pandemic and, thanks to various other, shall I say, status quo busting norms, right? In terms of work from home, in terms of, being digital, in terms of mental health, so on and so forth, contactless, touchless, so on and so forth, that we can also operationalize CX across people, right? Because you can't forget the human equation, right? Not only people, but whether it's, even its internal facing aspects, such as process and technology. Because the combination of people, process and technology, lead to customer experience, right? So what are your thoughts on that, Shaili, from your experience?
So Dipu, I just talked about how Oracle uses its own CX cloud to deliver smarter customer experience to our customers. You can unify your data and grow beyond competition. With the right customer experience solution in place, you can connect data and drive insights across the customer journey. The most important thing, and you just alluded to, we live in a connected world. And connected world means we have connected data, connected intelligence, and connected experience. And everything has to be on one platform. Because again, they cannot exist in silos. You can empower your sales, your marketing, your services, your field teams to connect with customer more intelligently with the help of this platform. And that will really help for business to grow. Let me give you some details about these. When we talk about connected data means you unify, sync, and augment customer data across the customer journey, from awareness to purchase, to support, to advocacy. Because finally, what we need from the customer is advocacy. And advocacy means that will help us to get more customers. And advocacy will also ensure the loyalty index goes up. Who doesn't want that? Of course, we do need. Second is connected intelligence. And connected intelligence is achieving a higher level of customer insight using artificial intelligence, using chatbots, using IoT, and it certainly drives business on the fly. Connected experience, again, a very important topic. Power continuous and consistent omni-channel experience across marketing, sales, service, and commerce. It enables the transformation of our business into a customer-centric enterprise. And this is exactly the reason we have to increase our customer experience value.
Fantastic, Shaili. And, I think what's basically happening, across businesses and, across the entire landscape is that people are realizing that it should be customer first, right? And I'll give you two examples without, of course, naming those firms, right? There was a firm, which thought that we know what the customer wants. And they went out of business, right? Because they didn't really understand customer needs. Similarly, there's a firm today, I guess, people, we can obviously guess the name, but, we'll not name the firm, where they basically say that in any meeting, they keep an empty chair, saying that, this chair represents the customer. So what we do, for example, Shaily out here is, we look at what customers tell us. Now, as I said, there are two kinds of customer needs. One is what customers state, and one is what customers are not able to even fathom themselves, that this is their need. It's a latent need. Then once we understand that, then, we look at our internal journey, and then we kind of rejig it, based on what the customer wants. And then we deploy the right tech stack. So our deployments are customer led, they are not use case led. So give you an example, we wouldn't say, let's just do something in the arena of blockchain or IoT just because, it is the latest buzzword, and we want to be seen there. And I'll give you a great example of, how we've leveraged IoT, from a customer perspective. Now, Internet of Things typically has been used, for telematics, whereby, you monitor driving behavior, and, consequently, it has, customer benefits, and that's been done globally. Now, in the Indian context, if you see, that is where, we have also tried to deploy technology to the cultural context we operate in. We also have a lot of cars being driven by drivers, because people here can afford drivers, unlike people in, in the markets like US or the UK. Now, let's say there's a working couple, right? And then, they basically have the driver, ferrying kids to school and back. Now, if the car goes off the regular path, by deploying geofencing, they get an alert. Now, this is not possible unless you study the customer use case and deploy the right tech stack. And that's how, we have tried to make a, difference to our customers, right? So I think the whole purpose of keeping the customer at the center and then deriving the process and the tech stack, I think, has kept us, significantly ahead. And that's reflected in our net promoter scores. And also the fact that, we've been able to come out year after year, with industry leading accomplishments, which have been recognized not only at an India level, but increasingly at an Asia Pacific level. And now, quite consistently, at a global level as well. At the same time, we have the humility to believe that you never arrive, right? It's always, day one, right? And our firm motto is, personally for me, as well as for our firm and as for all the leaders, that today it's not about know it all, it's about learn it all. Because you are rapidly learning, right? I mean, the entire landscape is changing, right? And, you need to learn and, you need to keep adapting, as we go along. So I think that's philosophically how we approach it. And I could sense from the way that you spoke that I see a strong cultural and philosophical connect, between Oracle, as well as us. And I think it shows that, we are truly, customer-centric organizations.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is what I believe in, and all through the career, this is absolutely I have focused on. Technologies absolutely come, they change, their requirements will keep coming, keep changing. But as long as you are customer focused, you think about your customer first, I think you're working in the right direction, and you will ensure that the bottom line keeps growing, your customers keep getting satisfied and satisfied.
Right. Coming to, the current focus areas, right, in terms of, whatever, you've been able to figure out from Oracle, speaking to your customers, right? Anything, you would like the audience to, basically know, because I could see it kind of coming through some of the queries that people are asking, that how do, when you look at customer experience, when you look at customer obsession, when you look at customer service, when you look at the current landscape, right? How do you tie it all, into some, 2-3 trends?
I'll tell you, a very, very great question. So, and this very much ties in with the subject of the discussion today. Customer service is no longer the metric for good sales and marketing. Absolutely, this is given, and it's only customer experience. And customer experience refers to how a company engages with its customers across all aspects of customer journey. It is a sum of all interactions a customer has had with a brand. The most important thing is what they feel about it. I have done a transaction. What do I feel about it? And has it given me that smile on face? And as a marketer, you have important decisions to make at every touch point to the customer journey. And then decisions can influence how your customers view your brand, and in turn, how your business will become successful. We are seeing, and we just discussed, our products are becoming more and more customized. Customers are differentiating more over experience and the brand, and less over product features and functions. Customers want to feel connected to their brands, and more importantly, they expect brands to know them. These are some of the places where businesses go wrong, because they forget that the expectation from the customer side, they are expecting brands to know them. And in today's connected, data-driven world, We are big fan of this. There is no excuse for a disconnect between brands and customers. There is no, absolutely. Negative customer experience will result from lack of awareness of a previous customer interaction, or when personalization is missing. On the contrary, I would say customer experiences, a positive customer experiences, when a customer walks away from every touch point of our brand, feeling happy and feeling satisfied. So what we have been suggesting to all our customers is having the right data. If you see in any organization, and this is very important, in any organization, if a marketer has to decision, just think about a person he or she has to make. Today, the data is coming. It's not that data is not available. The data is coming from different direction, in different sizes, different speeds. How do you ensure you are able to get everything together on one platform, get insights from it, and then convert it into actions? So that's how the customer experience platform, what we have talked about, makes all the difference. And a positive customer experience will include a well-targeted marketing campaign, easy to purchase from, say, e-commerce sites, simplified buying experience, self-service options, and the ability to connect with the brand anytime, anywhere. As I said, now there is nothing called day or night. Everything is connected. And customers want brands to anticipate their needs, and they want loyalty rewarded through useful and relevant programs. Finally, we need to have a smarter customer experience approach that puts the customer at the center. And in fact, if I see all the comments which have been coming, they have been also talking about exactly the same thing, that how do we put our customers at the center, because all of us agree and say, yes, customer is the biggest innovator today. And then how do we leverage data and intelligence to create superior and individual experiences? It will use machine learning, artificial intelligence to understand and interact with the customer. And a smarter customer experience will up the customer experience gain itself.
Absolutely, Shailey. And as you were speaking, one thought struck me. What happens very often is, when we look at data, typically then we try and react, right? I think the idea is, how can you also be proactive? How can you predict? So the other day, somebody was telling me, it's a customer. He said, he went to a website, and as he was typing, he got a query, saying that, have you forgotten your password? He said it's an amazing experience, right? Because it's almost as if, I felt, somebody read my mind and knew my innermost need, right? So the ability to get it right, because sometimes you can even get it wrong, right? You may end up asking the wrong question, right? So if you can do that and move to productive, customer experience, it just takes it to a new level where you're meeting the need even before he expresses it and in a real-time manner, so that is, one. The other aspect, Shailey, which we are seeing right now is, like I spoke about voice earlier, because of COVID, people are wary of touch, right? So how do we, make everything, touchless, right? I think that's certainly going to help people. Even today, when we have, our customers walking into our branches, we leverage QR codes, for various activities. They can, scan the QR code, get an insurance policy, something as, simple but as effective as that, right? I think they can, do other insurance, activities. Two, encouraging them to start using voice, right? So if people are getting into this digital challenge in a touch-free manner, not only is it a win-win for everyone from a safety perspective, but also from an experience, perspective. That's one thing, which we can do. The third thing I think, which people don't realize sometimes is, unwittingly, they're leaving their data all over the place. Every time you sign up for an app, you're giving access to your data. So I think customers are leaving their digital footprint all over the place. And I think a lot of players are making a business case out of collating this footprint. And then as they say, you give me an inch, I give you a mile, right? They're basically, completing the customer picture. So here I think, there is a case for various parties involved. On the one hand, the customer. On the other hand, the middlemen, who coalesce this data. And for, the large players, to basically come together, in a far more cohesive manner. And there is one good example, I'd like to give you. There is a platform in the US. So basically what they do is they aggregate data from individual customers, and then they share it in an aggregated manner with their with their corporate customers. Now the corporate customers don't share data with one another because obviously they can't. But if they share it with this platform, this platform is able to, collate data from, it's like, take data from each and then back to everyone in an aggregated manner. And because of that, they're able to come out with real-time products, based on information. So this is a win-win for everyone. The customer is giving data to the individual customer. It goes to the platform and comes back in the form of a real-time product. For corporate customers, it's a win-win because they're able to use data without compromising on confidentiality. And for the platform, it's a very clear, commercial use case. So we have seen new business models emerging, and I think, that could very well, be the trend. And we'll have to see, how this pans out right now, as the pandemic, settles in. And I'm saying settles in because it's still in a flux. There's going to be a certain way in which it settles. Then we'll have to see.
And this is just the starting
point. One question coming through. Yeah, please carry on. Please carry on.
This is just the starting point because even for customers also, this is a new environment. And we will see this customer, as you rightly said, once things start settling, the demands pertaining to this particular environment will change. And what we see is the demands will increase. And again, marketers will have to think that what is the best way now we start serving them. So it's not that whatever we are saying is final. It is just the starting point. And all of us as marketers, as brand managers, we are learning. We are learning. And I hope we will be able to learn fast and provide services to our customers for a better customer experience.
Right. I could see one query coming in, Shelly, that, one query was, how do you inform customers without annoying them? So any thoughts on that?
Whatever we are trying to do, it's absolutely a kind of reactive. Reactive in the sense we're giving all the information as a service. And service, it's totally up to them. How do they want to consume that service and how do they want to get benefited from their service? Because again, the way things are happening, too much of knowledge is getting across to all our customers. People are being bombarded with a lot of information. So it's basically they have to consume it as a service, whatever way they like and whenever they like.
And just to add to what you said, Shelly, I think this could be a classic case for customization at scale, right? Because different customers, may have, different needs. So that could be one. The other is today with the variety of, channels available, right? You have WhatsApp, you have notifications, right? Unlike a call, which can be intrusive because a person has to pick up at that time, right? I mean, it's real-time fulfillment. If somebody calls you, you do it, immediately. You have to fulfill it immediately. But if you get into, voice and non-call based fulfillment modes, then, the transaction can be split. So you share the notification when you want, and the customer picks it up, when he wants. So if you can get into non-intrusive, modes of communication where the customer is given the choice to pick it up when he wants, then it's up to him. Somebody could do it real time. Somebody could do it in a batch mode. Somebody may do it, in a combination of both. I think, that should also, help, as we go forward. So I think, that I think, would be the right way to, manage communication, because communication cannot also be underrated, because very often, many companies, fail to communicate to customers. It's very important to inform them. Just to give an example, when the pandemic started and our call centers, we had to move towards digital assets, we embarked on a massive communication blitzkrieg. It's not as if customers called up the call center and they got a message. We went to them proactively. We care for you. In case of anything, please do reach out to us. These are all the assets and so on and so forth. And I think communication, rather over communication, played a very big role in setting customer expectations right and also directing them to the right channels. So it should never be underestimated. Just that we make it non-intrusive.
Absolutely, fully agree.
Yeah. So I guess, Shelly, it's been a wonderful conversation. Thank you so much for taking out time. I could make out from the audience reactions as well, that they really enjoyed the conversation. Thank you for sharing your pearls of wisdom gleaned from all your experience, over the years. And I just think the audiences, they have a lot of value. I can see a lot of positive comments there. And look forward to interacting with you personally, professionally, and on platforms like these, going forward as well.
Sure. Thanks, Dipu. Thanks a ton. Thanks for having me here. And really want to thank all the audience also for their wonderful comments. In fact, I have been reading them. A lot of knowledge coming from that comments as well. Thanks, Dipu. Thanks a ton. It's been a wonderful event. Thank you.
Thank you, Shelly. And as you said, thank you to the audience and thanks to everyone. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.